Thank you, Minister and David and Chris. Related to the previous questions, if we fast forward a year from now, for New Zealanders, what can they expect in terms of key decisions that have been made by yourself, Minister, or Cabinet regarding port infrastructure, regarding the ferries? Give us a sense of what New Zealanders may be able to have confidence in. I know with respect to your comment about business, it might be difficult, but fast forward, give us a sense of key decisions and milestones that you're working to.
Can I say, I'll ask one of my witnesses here to answer that question. But you say fast forward for a year, no, fast forward for half a year, because that's the level of programming we've got our decision framework in.
Yep. In answer to that, there will be a ship's contract and there will be a commercial deal done between the two ports. And that is the major decision of Ferry Holdings. Ferry Holdings may very well look different in 18 months' time because we will be in the process then of the construction, the ships will be being constructed and so forth. And so there may be a slightly different configuration to Ferry Holdings itself. So there will be no decisions post the end of this year that will need to be made by either Ferry Holdings or the government. There will be some other options that we will be looking at. We'll be working with Kiwi-Rail and Inter-Islander on the operational requirements of the two ports along with the vessel. Inter-Islander will be closely involved in the layout and so forth within the ships. But apart from that, once those contracts are signed, then it's all hands to the pump to actually get the things done.
Right.
And the other point to make is it's up to the two ports to deliver, but very closely working with Ferry Holdings. So,
yes.
As I say, there's no major decisions, but it will be all hands to the pump, which includes the two ports and the shipyards.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And I was going to ask that just one question there on the ports. So what I'm hearing is that you've pretty much got the ports, you've worked out with the ports what it is that they need to look like, in other words, what the physical arrangements are, and then it's about the commercial arrangements behind that. Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just on the ports, Wellington will look very much as it is at the moment. There'll be a slight change to the rail because the new vessels under Solus, their freeboard has to be higher, and so the link span has to be adjusted. Trains don't like steep hills, and so there will be a slight change to the rail alignment as it comes onto the vessel. In Picton, it will be a new infrastructure, but it will be roughly where the current infrastructure is. And it will still be dual loading rail and trucks below and cars and trucks above at both ends.
Okay. Are there any other questions on Inter-Islander? Okay. I'm going to do one question, which is sort of transfers us from Inter-Islander quite neatly, I think.
Well, hold on there, Uncle Andy.
I got a question, Sam. You might be able to answer this. This new infrastructure proposal that they're saying, okay, it's going to be done at Picton, the same location as the port, right? Where the current port is. Was the IREX project proposing to build a new port somewhere else, or were they going to use the current site?
It was current site, but it was the redevelopment for the current site.
So, based on that answer that was given, what degree of difference is there from this proposed plan from the IREX project?
A lot of the capital infrastructure work that would have happened at Wellington isn't happening.
Okay, so that's the key difference. Okay, all
yes.
right.
And that was where the significant cost was, because the fact that the piers had to be drilled 70 metres deep, because at Kaiwhatawhata, where Kaiwhatawhata stream is on fault line.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, all right.
Yeah. And it was the Wellington end that had the significant cost blowout, because the original place in Wellington, I'll show it on a map on here. I've just moved it to Picton, but I'll show it back to Wellington. So I'll just flick it over to here. So in the original, so this is where the current ferry terminal is. They were looking at making the new IREX terminal in its first iteration was to be held here
Yep.
Was it in King's Wharf, I think it is? Yeah, I think that's King's Wharf, because Queen's Wharf is over here. Yeah, and so I think this is King's Wharf. Which meant that, you'd have all this traffic coming off the ferries trying to intersect with the stadium.
Yeah.
God, that would have been funny when the, rugby match and the ferries came in at the same time, finishing. That would have been an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But they would have been handy for the train station. Like, they were doing that, and Kiwi-Rail actually threatened Greater Wellington Regional Council, who owns the Port of Wellington, with using the Public Works Act to put the railway line in there, which in New Zealand history, there has never been one authority like the railways issue, Public Works Act against another territorial authority. Typically, the Public Works Act has only ever been used to confiscate would be the wrong word, to acquire either private land ownership or iwi land ownership. It has never been used to take local government land, acquisitions.
So my question is that what's the current state of the Wellington ports? Clearly it needs to be upgraded at some point, right? It's aging infrastructure. Are we kicking the can down the road by not upgrading the port?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, because that's what I'm getting here.
I think Steve Pritchard would be the better person to tell you that, because he actually does work for Kiwi-Rail. He would be the one who would actually know more of the ins and outs of that.
Yeah, because I know the best time to build infrastructure is now, because inflation is one hell of a thing. And why are we delaying upgrading a port?
Oh God, who knows? Okay.